Hello there. Yes, another week. So today is Monday, 15th of February 2021, of course. So week commencing that day. And I am sat in a car park, Tesco's Superstore car park in the Bolton area. But how did I get here? I'll say that in a bit. But before I do, as I do now, fuel prices. So yeah, they're still going up. Had a look on the RAC website over the weekend. I was thinking, how much further are they going to go up? They're still not back at where they were pre-COVID. So who knows? They could just keep going up, which is bad news. But hopefully not. UK fuels is now well over £1. 101.95 after that, of course. And BWOC or POC, which is the one I normally use the Key Fuels Network, 98.56. Yeah, so I'll be using that again this week mostly. I'm trying to. It's not too hard, to be honest. Yeah, so started off this morning, usual Monday morning at home, bit slow to get going, getting my stuff ready, packing my bag. Started looking for jobs just before 10. I got a job about 10:15, I think it was. Local job. It was a long wheelbase job. 30 miles loaded. I was 4 miles from it. So I priced it at 45 quid. I'm still not sure what minimum charge would be for a long wheelbase van. In normal times, let alone now, you know what I mean? So, and I got it. So that worked out alright. So loaded miles, it's like £1.50 a mile, but obviously a short job. Time wise, it probably worked out from getting a job to tipping a job and starting looking again. It probably worked out around the £25 an hour mark, which is, that's the thing for me with shorter jobs. It can be good pence per mile, but on the job, pounds per mile isn't great. Obviously your pounds per mile. So yeah, pounds per hour is more to do with the whole day as well. But while you're on a job, I reckon you need to be doing at least 25 quid. Bigger van, really 30 plus. Yeah, so I got this job, and I've done jobs for this shipper before. They're quite a good company, but they do contact you to see if you're still available, but they don't phone this company. WhatsApp, they seem to use WhatsApp a lot, and I've actually missed a job from these before because I hadn't opened the WhatsApp on my phone. And if I haven't opened WhatsApp on my phone, I've got it open, I won't get notifications on this phone. I never have done. So yeah, now I always make sure it's when I'm active on the CX looking for jobs, I make sure I've got WhatsApp open, just for this shipper really. I paid off this morning. Yeah, so I got that one on. Crikey, what was that? Yeah, it was just some kind of furnace equipment from place in an industrial estate, about 4 miles from me, over to Coventry, CV4 I think it was. Some factory, looked like a proper engineering works smell in the place. So got that tipped, wasn't too bad either end really. So that put me in Coventry, went and got a sandwich, and then I was looking for my second job by that time because I'd started late and I'd done a small job. I was starting to kind of regret it, thinking maybe I shouldn't have took that job on. I should have just try and get a bigger job in first thing. But I did get a job in the end, and it was from Banbury through to Bolton where I am now, and it's with the same shipper. So I've done well out of that shipper today. Same process again via WhatsApp. About a bit of drive to get to Banbury. It's 143 miles or something, and I priced 141 miles, and I went in at 130, which is 91 pence a mile loaded, and I had a bit of a drive to get there, so it worked out. Loaded and unloaded this one 75 pence a mile, but loaded it was 91, which for a longer run is okay. This job didn't quite go to plan because the M6 was shut junction 13 to 14. Apparently a car on fire in one of these, in the roadworks there where they're putting the smart motorway in. Delayed for an hour, so I avoided that and had to go off cross country a bit through sort of Stafford area. And then when I joined back on the M6 at junction 14, the traffic was flowing again, so maybe it would have been better just sitting in the traffic for a bit, but you never know. Got up here, got tipped, had me Chinese, first Chinese of the week, chicken fried rice. Yeah, so I'm just going to watch a film now on my tablet, and then try and get an early night, get up reasonably early, 6ish, and try and get a job early. That'd be nice. Early bird, I'll try and be the early bird tomorrow. Yeah, I'm in a Tesco car park. There's no parking time limit or restrictions here, so happy days. So, and it's only going to be 8 degrees tonight, so I'm not going to bother with a heater. I should be fine with just my good sleeping bag at that temp. So yeah, no need to use the heater. So that is the start of the week. Monday done. Right, Tuesday, just before 2 in the afternoon, and I'm in the middle of Sheffield. So yeah, stayed in the Tesco car park last night. Didn't bother putting the heater on. It's fine really. I'm still using that really good sleeping bag I bought. So yeah, got a good night's sleep. Up nice and early. Got myself a coffee, etc., etc. Started looking for jobs from while I was waiting because it was quite quiet. Nipped into Tesco, bought me another pair of cargo type combat trousers, black. I mentioned these before Christmas. I think I bought a pair. They're really good, really. 15 quid. They're not too heavy. I find if you get like the workwear ones, they're just like made of really durable fabric, which is like stuff you don't need really, just for driving around. These look smart and they're a lot thinner and lighter and more comfortable. 100% cotton, organic cotton, so I find cotton stuff I kind of sweat less in the summer and stuff. So yeah, rate them. So I got a second pair. Got tough dust on a brush as well for the van. I did a schoolboy error this morning, which a bit annoyed myself. I bid on a few jobs and I wasn't getting anything. Might not have made any difference, but my status had lapsed and I hadn't updated it, so I would have been shown as orange, may be available. Whereas you should always have it on green, available when you're bidding, basically. So it shows to shippers. Some of them might, even filter out people who aren't green. Just a bit annoyed with myself by that. Once I sorted that out, I picked up a job. Yeah, it was about 9:30 I got this job, maybe, or 20 to 10 I got this job. Picking up from Manchester, M1. It said on the description 70 boxes over to Sheffield, where I am now, S1. Yeah, and it did say 70 boxes, and it said it was urgent, so I got there as soon as I could, 20 minutes away. And it was legal boxes, like just document boxes, 70 of them. But I got to like the loading bay where it said to go, and the guy's like, "Where have you been? You're late." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know anything about that. I've just been sent here," and gave him some spiel about the other driver must have been delayed because I've been put on this job urgent. And I had to walk across this office block. The room I was getting them from was on the first floor, so I had to get in a lift. I could have used my sack barrow, but I would have got 5 on tops of that. And the guy in the loading bay says, "Yeah, mate, just borrow one of these cages." So I was taking 12 at a time, but it was still 6 trips, so I was there an hour. So I rang the shipper before I left and says, I need to make some money, basically. So half an hour's included, and then I charge £5 for every 15 minutes or part of after. So I said it's an extra £10, and they said, "Yeah, no trouble." Update it on the system, put the extra tenner on, and they did say to me, fair play, if there's any hold up the other side, just let us know. But yeah, for me, it's come up a bit lately on Pete's channel. Pete's mentioned it about handballing, and I kind of agree with him. For me, there is no such thing really as a handball charge. It's just, if it happens to be handball and it takes longer than your loading and waiting time, which is for me is half an hour, then it just gets charged. As long as it's not like ridiculously heavy stuff, which should be 2-man lift, or like really awkward and like you can't do it with just one person, I'll just crack on. and then charge whatever. That's the way I see it as a courier. It's all part of the job, not just driving. That's the way I see it anyway. And I didn't mention it last week, but when I picked up the job to go down to Brighton, I picked it up from Birmingham B6 from the shipper's depot, and there was a guy waiting, turned up to get loaded after me, turned up just after me, and the guy said to him, the shipper said to him, "I'll just load in this chap, and then when he's gone, we'll load you. But if you want to start loading, the boxes are just there." And this guy said to turn around straight away without even seeing what it was, and they were just boxes. You know, some of them were light, some of them were heavy, but he could have took light stuff. He just says, "Oh, I didn't say anything about handballing. There'll be extra money and all this stuff." And for me, it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? Just get it done. If it takes longer than your thing, then you charge. That's my view on it. This guy last week, I'm not sure he even got loaded in the end, because I loaded, sorted out my sat nav, blah blah blah. Took a few minutes and drove off. And when I drove out the place, he was right behind me. So they might have sent him away. I don't know. Yeah. So that's my thing on handball. And S1 Sheffield, it's the same sort of middle of a city office complex, shopping complex that I delivered the plastic panels to last week to some shop fitters, so I knew exactly where to go for the delivery bay. Really easy this side, just had to chuck it all in the loading bay, and a couple of guys took it on cages to the office. Still probably took half hour this side, but yeah, that's allocated or allowed, so yeah, that's it. So it was 60 quid for 38 miles, plus getting to it. I've worked it out, I've done 49 miles, loaded and unloaded. It was 60, but it's now got up to 70, so that's over 140 a mile. Middle of the afternoon now, I'm only on 70 quid though, but hopefully get another job, even though the rate's good. It's a bit like yesterday's shortest job to start, which I was trying to get the longer jobs, but can't be fussy at the moment. Just got to bid on stuff you could potentially do, and then yeah, just take it as it comes really. So that is Tuesday afternoon so far. Right, Wednesday morning now, and I am in East London. So yeah, I was in Sheffield yesterday. There wasn't much coming up in the Sheffield area, to be honest. Just a few jobs. There's more jobs coming up sort of Leeds way, quite interesting, and a few around Doncaster and stuff. So yeah, I think I tipped just before 1, I said, and then I sat around in various car parks. Moving on before I got a ticket, beyond the 90-minute max day or 2-hour max day, I think they were. Yeah, just give the van a bit of a clean inside, in the back, a bit of a sweep out while I was waiting, and top the screen wash and all that stuff, trying to keep myself busy while watching the feed. I didn't get anything, and then got to 5, still didn't have anything. I thought that might be it, 70 quid for the day. Bit on a good pence per mile rate, but when you've only done 70 miles or whatever it was, or 50 miles, it doesn't really matter what the rate is, it's just not good enough, is it? So, but then a job pinged up at about 5:30, Doncaster, half an hour from me, long wheelbase down to East London, 170 miles. So I thought I'd go in slightly on the cheap side possibly, so 150 for 170 miles, and I had to get there to Doncaster, which was about half-hour drive, so what's that, maybe 14-15 miles or something, I think it was. But at that time of the day, just trying to, I think I priced it with unloaded and loaded, it was 80 pence a mile, which isn't too bad. And it was good for this job. It was with the shippers I did 2 jobs for on Monday, the WhatsApp guys. So I put my bid in, and then I WhatsApped the guy with my bid as well. Got the job. Yeah, and that was just picking up a cable, like a big hefty electrical cable on a drum or a cotton reel, sat on a pallet. Wasn't particularly heavy at all, really. Don't really know why it was long wheelbase. Could have gone short wheelbase, that one. Yeah, so picked it up last night, drove down to London, Had to deliver it this morning at 7:30, so obviously couldn't kip in the back of the van because couldn't lay my bed out, even though it was just a one pallet at the back doors. Yeah, to deliver it this morning to a building site. Stopped in a Travelodge last night, 25 quid, literally like a few minutes around the corner from where the drop was. I was quite surprised, you know, Travelodge 25 quid. I know it's really quiet at the moment for them, and they're like really bottom price for most hotels, but like in London, East London, E15, Stratford, yeah, it's quite good really. But I didn't get there till just after 11 by the time I'd got down here and decided to fill the van up with diesel ready for today. So I don't have to mess about trying to fill up today during the day. Yeah, the guy was a bit funny about proving, you know, I needed to stay there. So I said, I can send you an email, and then I started writing the email on my phone, and he goes, what are you going to send it? And he goes, no, it needs to be from your boss. And I'm like, well, I am my boss, I'm self-employed. In the end, I just showed him, I tried showing him my company ID first that I've had made up for going to airports and stuff. That wasn't good enough. And in the end, I just showed him the order on my phone, the confirmation through the CX, and then eventually he just, yeah, he says, yeah, right, fair enough. Yeah, so only had like 6 hours in bed last night. Didn't sleep particularly well, even though I was in a proper bed. Probably slept better on the back of the van the night before. Well, I did a lot better. So yeah, now I'm in East London. Yeah, a fair few jobs coming up, but as I find down here, a lot of them tend to be small jobs, small van jobs, motorcycle, car, in and around London, and trying to get a decent sized van job out is quite hard, I think. So fingers crossed. It's just gone 9 o'clock, so still plenty of time. So yeah, hopefully I get a job out of London. Right, 7:30 in the evening now, on Wednesday, and I am in Bexhill-on-Sea, which is Sussex, just west of Hastings, 1066 and all that lot. Seem to come to this part of the world a fair bit, and I normally do alright from here, even though it's a bit out of the way. Yeah, so after I tipped that one this morning, and I went and got myself, ended up on a McDonald's breakfast in the end. There's a fair few jobs coming up in and around London, but like I said, lots of them were small van jobs. There were some bigger van jobs, local and out of the area, so I was bidding on them, but I was getting nowhere. And there was one in particular which I really wanted. It was like 20 minutes from me. I was in East London at the time, wasn't I? And it was going to the West Midlands, Dudley. Long wheelbase job, 128 miles. So I went in at 110, which is 86 pence a mile loaded. Obviously I would have had to get there as well, so it wouldn't be quite that low all in. But it's one of these jobs where it was phone calls only, so you couldn't quote online. So I rang him straight away. He's like, yep, what's your price, still available? Says 110. He goes, I've already had 75 quid, mate. And I just said to him, yeah, can't do it for that. And then, yeah, that was the end of it. And I worked out, I think it's like 56.5 pence a mile off 75 quid. So either someone's just desperate for work and going in way too cheap for that job, or they're going to do it in co-load. This was collect within the hour, deliver ASAP, hot shot. So that's dedicated and direct to me. Or maybe in the third one, it's just somebody who happened to be, came down here early and just wants, cover some costs, diesel money going back. It's the other option, but yeah, obviously there are some silly bids at the moment. I've gone a bit cheaper, but I'm still getting work. If you've watched so far today, like normal rates, it's just a bit hard to get. You've got to put the hours in bidding and stuff. And I did notice yesterday when I was up north. When I was in Sheffield, a job pinged up in Leeds, and it was a long wheelbase job. It was only 7.5 miles, but obviously there's such a thing as a minimum charge, and it said on it pays £20. And from, generally rule of thumb is small van is minimum charge 25 quid. When you take into account, you've got to allow 30 minutes generally loading and unloading. That's an hour plus you're driving. Yeah, so 20 quid's a bit of a piss take, really. And it's a company, sounds a bit royal, I'll put it that way. And their name and they're renowned for it, really. They quite often put what job pays on the notes, and it's normally not a lot. But I reckon they're probably filling their boots while it's really a seller's market. But I reckon later this year it'll go back more balanced market, or maybe even a buyer's market, or a driver's market, and then they'll probably get a comeuppance then, really. But yeah, you do get companies, I think, that just try and screw the costs down all the time, but a lot of them are pretty good, and they'll pay the same rates now as they would in normal time for the right person. So I'm never going to go in cheap. That's not my thing. Try and do a good job, and then I think it'll work out. Yeah, so that's a bit of thoughts on price at the moment. So yeah, I was there, and then I was getting nowhere, and I was being a bit despondent about thinking, how am I going to get out of London if people are quoting that, and the shippers are going to go for it. And then a job pinged up, multi-drop out of south of the river, BR8 I think it was, sort of Bromley area, just off the M25, where the M25 joins the M40, picking up from there, and it was 30 drops heading towards Hastings. So I bid 150 for that and got it. He sent it through, no phone call or anything, but wasn't complaining, just crack on with it. My thinking being, if I did that, it's 150 for the day, which isn't great really when you're on the run, but it's not terrible either. And yeah, it's just not done any multi-drop in this van, and it's like 30 drops. It'll be a nice little try for this van, do multi-drop. Yeah, so got over there. It was 30 drops, well actually 28 drops in the end, 27 different postcodes. Some of the drops had quite a lot of parcels, like there was one like furniture store thing. They had 9 rugs, which were bloody heavy. And then the first drop was like a bulk drop, but I didn't have to see anyone, they just told me where I need to drop it in this big cage. There was like 6 bags, Hessian bags full of parcels, and then there's loads of loose boxes as well, but it was easy enough. And the rest was just residential addresses all over on the way down here and along the coast, some real nadry lanes. I'll put my little route map up now. Yeah, so I got that done. I did have to optimize the route with Road Warrior again, and then I used the Delmate app to find a lot of like the posh houses in the countryside, and the ones that got names and no numbers. If it wasn't for Delmate, I wouldn't have got it done today on time. Used it quite a lot today. So yeah, DELM8 was really good. Can't remember his one-off charge for the year, like 20 quid. It's just worth having. Yeah, so got it done. Towards the end, I had to change it up so I could get to this carpet store before 5, before it shut, and then go back. So I had to change the sequence, and that kind of probably added another 40 minutes on the day. It wasn't too bad in the end. Got it done. Now in Bexhill. Had some duck fried rice. Sat in a retail park. There's Tesco, B&M, M&S, Poundland, and there's no parking restrictions, so I'll stop here tonight, go for a bit of a walk first thing if it's not raining, get some fresh air in the morning, on the coastal path, which is just over the railway, when it's light. And then I'm not sure how. I'm slightly out of the way here. I'm quite far from Brighton and stuff, and quite far from Tunbridge, but I think I might just chance it in the morning, nothing doing by mid-morning, and move on. So that is up until the end of Wednesday. Right, yeah, Thursday morning now, still in Bexhill-on-Sea. Just before I went to bed last night, a job pinged up, checked it, and it was a long wheelbase job just down the coast in a place called over to Sunbury-on-Thames by Heathrow. 86 miles, so I went in at 83 quid, and we're getting there. It's about 100 miles, so I got the job obviously, yeah. I thought I had a good chance of getting it out here, picking up any time between 9 and 3 this afternoon, so I'm going to pick it up at 9, get straight over there, hopefully all goes well, and that puts me in sort of Heathrow area, and I'll try and take it from there. I think there'll be a lot of competition from there, but like I keep saying, beggars can't be choosers. I'll go there and hope for the best. The only concern with this job is it's delivering, the company who's posted it, and delivering to their premises. I've been there before, and they've got trucks and all sorts, but on the instructions it's 1 ton, 2 packages, and it looks like just like a residential address, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there, to be honest. That seems a bit odd, because if stuff like 500 kilograms each on average, could need a forklift, and they're going to need to be on pallets, so I have to wait and see on that one. So yeah, just been for a quick look down the coast. Too cold to walk far with the wind. Hiding behind some beach huts to get shelter from the wind to film this. Yeah, so job early doors, so happy with that. Right, 3:15 now, Thursday afternoon. Tipped that job about 12 midday-ish. Easy enough. I've not done anything since, jobs-wise, just bidding on jobs. Yeah, very quiet, to be honest, because where I am now, I'm getting notifications, you know, most of London, and I still had my home area set as Fleetwood, and to get notifications from my home area. So, not the busiest area down there, but I'm still getting some from down there. But yeah, considering what it used to be like here when I first started last March, and in the summer, like August, September time, it's just totally dead considering like that. And I was only looking up to medium wheelbase notifications. Now I got long wheelbase on there as well, which are one of the busiest job groups. Very, very quiet. I can't believe how quiet it is. But I've bid on some jobs, just like normal money or maybe slightly cheaper, and some of them where I've been like 5 minutes away. Obviously I'm not far from Heathrow and stuff. It's a fair bit comes out compared to the rest of London. Yeah, and like I haven't got any of them. And then there was a job kept getting reposted by a company that does a lot of the COVID samples from SL0, sort of Slough way. It's about 14 miles from me, going up to Aylesbury, and it just kept getting reposted. And I was thinking, why is that getting reposted? I wasn't going for it initially because it's small van and it's not very far, but I thought I'll just price it all in miles, 75p a mile. And as soon as I did, I got it. It's not picking up till 4:15. It's only going to take me an hour, hopefully. It's COVID samples, so that'll boost me over the £100 mark anyway. So I was on 83. This should take it to 123, and then I should be finished, like I say, like early evening, and then maybe pick up a late job. That's the plan. So yeah, been cleaning the van while I'm waiting. Yeah, 8 o'clock Thursday night now, so yeah, I picked up that COVID sample. Turned out to be Pinewood Studios, which was semi-interesting, never been there before, obviously heard about it. But yeah, it was at an actual COVID testing centre this time. Not a lot of the COVID samples I've done lately, you've just been picking up from one person's address. but this was like a box and we had 20 odd samples in there. But it's a bit strange to drop off. That was to just a private address in like a modern housing estate, so whether it's the guy's works in the lab or something, I don't know, but it seemed a bit odd. Actually worked out better in the end, that job, because instead of it being 16 miles to get there like the CX told me, it was 14, and instead of 37 miles loaded, I took another route which was 2 minutes longer, took 2 minutes longer, but it was 27 miles, so that shaved 12 miles off the job in total, which meant I got 40 quid for 41 miles, so that's not too bad really for a small van job. Yeah, so I got here like 5 then, by the time I was tipped. So that's all I've done today, 2 jobs for 123 quid, probably about the 80 pence a mile all in mark, loaded and unloaded, which is okay. But still not, well, yeah, and a fair bit of unloaded miles to get to these jobs. Yeah, so that is Thursday. Can't stop in the car park of Tesco here because it's 2 hours maximum, so I've parked on a road pretty close to it. I'll be getting my head down here tonight, feeling pretty tired now. I didn't put my heater on last night thinking it was going to stay quite mild, but it got quite cold and it was a bit cold in the night. So definitely bang the heater on tonight. It's going to get down to like 3-4 degrees, so use the heater for the first time this week, so I fitted it, so I might as well use it. Right, tis Sunday afternoon now. Just to recap what happened on Friday, I ended up having a bit of a stressful crap day, to be honest. When I filmed the last bit when I was sat close to Tesco car park, there's a job that pinged up from Newport Pagnell over to Cardiff, a long wheelbase job, and I bid on it. It was e-quotes only, long wheelbase job. It said €3 pallets, all, well, 1 metre high, 600 kilograms, and it said on there limited quantity, ADR, doesn't need to be ADR approved. So I thought, okay, I can do that. So I bid on it. I was quite far from the pickup, 25 miles, and I bid on it like 75 pence a mile all the way through to the collection and through to Cardiff. Not entirely sure what it would have come out loaded miles. And then I bid on it, and then it was still there in the morning. It's one of them jobs that just sits there, and you think, is it sold? Is it a ghost job? And it got to about 8 in the morning because collection was at 9, and I was like 45-minute drive from it, and I was just starting to think about, it says e-quotes only, but maybe I should just ring and say I quoted on this last night. Is it still available? Blah, blah, blah. Just as I was thinking about doing that, it was reposted, so I thought to myself, well, it's definitely still available then. So I quoted the same on it again, which is 127 quid. Shortly after, well, actually about 20 minutes later, they rang me up and says, can I do it for 120? And normal times I would have said no, or whatever. I just said like, I'll do it for 125 to make it more of a round number. But as they are, I just says, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Given how time's out at the moment. It's got a job shot over there, even though, because I'd put 45 minutes, I need to be there by 9. It was like 20 to 9 then, and it's like 45-50 minutes away. 25 miles, shot over there. Got to the pickup. It was like a transport company. I've seen their trucks. They do trucks from Europe. I think like Northern Europe they're based. And this must be like their distribution depot, but it's only like a small unit in an industrial estate. And he goes, yeah, it must be, I spoke to the guy in a warehousey place. He goes, yeah, it must be them 3 over there. And one of them was 1 metre, but the other 2 were quite a bit taller. And he was loading a truck, so I had to wait for him to load a rigid truck, 26 tonner. And then he brings them over, start loading them. And it's one of these, I find forklifts are one way or the other, they're either really careful, or they tend to be a bit like crazy. And this guy was proper crazy, just like whizzing around the place. When he's loading his truck, he reversed into a pallet truck, and he was just like going like the clappers, and he just squeezed this. We weren't sure whether this big tall pallet was going to fit, and I said I'll just get my tape measure, which is from the cab, walk to the front, and when I walked back he was just kind of like squeezing it in. That kind of pissed me off a bit, to be honest. He's being impatient, but it went in, it was 1.75, and I think I'll get 1.8 out of squeeze. And then we got loaded, and I asked him when I was loading, how much did these weigh, mate? Because you're obviously taller than he said in the job notes. And he goes, no idea, mate. Finished loading me, strapped up. He gave me the paperwork just before I left, which I didn't look at straight away. And then I went to drive out the industrial estate, and you could just tell it was really heavy. Going around the corners and that, didn't really get out of the industrial estate, turned around because I looked at the paperwork then and it said 1,840 kilograms. That's not fucking 600 kilograms, is it? So straight back there, says, here mate, this is well overweight. It says it's 1.8 tons on your paperwork, and he goes, oh no, that won't be 1.8 tons. And I just said to him, well, it says it is on your paperwork, and I just driven down the road and it feels 1.8 tons. He was just trying to fast one, which really kind of annoyed me, really, because driving illegally and unsecure and stuff. I'm a bit surprised because it's, you know, they seem like a proper professional haulage firm, you know, we're not like a small outfit. So he unloaded me, gave him the paperwork back. I said to him, am I taking part of a load and you getting another van, or take it all off? And then he just says, oh well, it all has to go together, so it has to come off. So I says, well, yeah, you'll need a 7.5 ton minimum then. So he just shrugged, and then I unstrapped, and then as he was unloading, he like properly drove into the back of the van with the forklift, so the mast like banged into the bumper enough to kind of like shove the van forward. So I yelled at him a bit, to be honest. I got a really patient guy, but this guy proper pissed me off, excuse my language. Yeah, I just yelled at him, what you doing? I didn't swear at him or anything, and he didn't reply. He just fucking, well, this one again, sorry. He just, yeah, finished taking it off, because he had to get the forks in quite far to get the second one in off the back, but he just like barged into the back of the van and could have damaged the bumper or the reversing sensors. So yeah, job didn't happen. I found a shipper. They said, oh, hang around for a bit. But a quarter of an hour later, after I rang them back, they says, yeah, sorry, it's cancelled. Ended up getting 30 quid. Drove 25 miles from Aylesbury, put me Newport Pagnell by Milton Keynes, slightly better area to get the next job. But like 30 quid time-wise doesn't work out, but I just accepted it and just move on. Wasn't going to argue any less than that, and I would have said, no, I want more. But so that put me sort of like mid-morning, looking for my next job. I was trying all morning, all early afternoon to get a job. Plenty of jobs picking up in and out. Well, not plenty of jobs, it was slow, but I bid on a fair few jobs over that time in and around Milton Keynes, where I was like less than 15 minutes away. I had to be slightly selective, so I wasn't trying not to go south, either towards the Midlands or even past the Midlands to the northwest. I was bidding on, even bid on jobs to Leeds and stuff. Didn't get any of them. Got to about 2:30 and I thought, well, I'll look at the Amazon Flex, see if I can get a block out of Banbury. And yeah, I managed to get a block out of Banbury at 4 o'clock. It's kind of like saved the day. So I had 30 quid. Well, I didn't really save the day, but 30 quid cancellation for that first job. And I did a 3-hour block starting at 4 in Banbury. Which took me 2 hours for 39 quid, I think it was. No, 45, because it's 15 quid an hour they pay out of Banbury, because they struggle to get drivers. Because it's a bit out of the way. But it took me 2 hours from getting there to do my last drop, so just quickly put where I went on here. Yes, it worked out really well, because the block that I got, I thought at 4 o'clock it might be a same day one, which tends to be more spread out and you have to drive between each drop, but it was standard delivery, so it's like you're a postman really. Delivered in a small town near Leamington Spa, and it's quite often like parked up 4 or 5 times, and then you just deliver to several houses from there, move the van and just walk a bit and deliver, and you're not stop starting the van all the time. Yeah, so I've done some videos in the past about Flex, but I just want to. The good thing about the Flex app is the navigation, everything, the route planning is in the app, and the pin that drops is actually on, shows you the building, the house, the property, and where it is. So I'll just quickly show that. Yeah, that's one of the good things about Amazon Flex and the Amazon delivery app. Amazon are really, amazingly shit hot on the app side and the navigation. So that's what makes Amazon, it's quite easy to do it at night even, because you don't have to look for house numbers or names, you just bang straight outside. So that's, yeah, Amazon, that got me, I earned some money on the way home. So that put me on 75 quid for the day on Friday, which is shocking, but that's how it's been and how it is at the moment. Yeah, so that's Friday, getting quite long this vlog, but I'll quickly do a summary. I just need to work out my numbers. Right, summary time. So yeah, full 5 days, out on a run all week. Stayed in a hotel one night, Travelodge, which is 25 quid. I can claim some of that back, put it down as a taxable expense. So, excuse me, that'll be probably about 20, just over 20 quid that cost me in real terms. So yeah, the other nights I stayed in the van, back of the van. So Monday was 2 jobs, 45 and 130 for 170. That was Monday. Tuesday, 70 and 150, 220. Turned out being the best day of the week. Wednesday, the one multi-drop job for 150. Thursday, 83 and 40 for 123. Friday, the £30 cancellation and the £45 flex block on the way home via Banbury, £75. So 738 was my total takings. Obviously VAT went on top of that, and because I'm on a flat rate scheme with VAT, I get to keep some of that, but then not claim back the actual VAT. That works out £147.60 a day net. Mileage was quite low because obviously I was quiet and I did some multi-drop and stuff, which worked out as a better pence per mile. So that was 853 miles from leaving on a Monday to getting back on a Friday, all miles, which works out at 86.5 pence a mile. So that's pretty good, really. Including the dead mile between jobs miles and stuff. Yeah, so I reckon pre-tax basically pre-tax profit, or what I get to count as my income, pre-tax income, taking into account the VAT I get to keep, and then taking out all expenses, my standard expenses. So I think it's like 20 quid a day I'm working off now in this van. It was 17 in the old van, but yeah, I'm just going to work off 20 on this van for now, even though pretty much everything's the same, but I think it might have been a bit optimistic before. And I'm working off 25 pence a mile, fuel, depreciation and other costs, things like insurance, definitely not insurance, that's fixed. Tyres, servicing, all that stuff goes in. Variable costs are 25p a mile. After I work it all out, the pre-tax profit is 450 quid, 5 days work. So yeah, it's pretty crap really. It's 90 quid a day pre-tax, but obviously that's just down to how it is at the moment. It's getting by kind of thing on that kind of like pays my living costs, but just really. But given how it is, quiet time of year and this lockdown, I'm still optimistic going forward. Yeah, so that is my summary figures for the week. I asked last week about comments for insurance, so thanks everyone who got back to me. It's quite interesting. Particularly a couple of guys said they managed to use their car insurance, swap it over to a van insurance policy, because it was my understanding that you couldn't do that because it's, like commercial vehicle or like goods vehicle, you have to start again because it's a different type of vehicle. But I think it depends on the insurer, because I did phone Admiral. Quite a few people recommended Admiral, and they said yeah they can do it. So I could have put 4 years no claims from my old car policy, but it still came out with like 3,700. And even though they call it haulage, they said that's just their term. It includes multi-drop as well. So that was Admiral. So yeah, I'm not going to go with that one. Clearly, I had another one, Coversure, in Lowestoft, who I get my goods in transit and public liability from, and they're really nice to speak to and deal with. They quoted me, but they couldn't quote for light haulage, just haulage, and their like full courier policy was 2,900, which is like 600 quid more than my renewal. So it won't be going that way. And a blue drop as well. Quite a few people recommended that, and on some other stuff I've looked at online. So I'm just waiting on them to get back to me on Monday. They said to get back to me tomorrow morning. I'm kind of resigned to the fact now I'm going to be staying with Business Choice Direct, and even though that with 1 year's no claims the premium hasn't gone down as much as I was hoping, it's going down 15%, and I'm kind of hoping for 30%. The fact that they were so much cheaper anyway to start off with means they're still way cheaper than anyone else, it seems. And this is Blue Drop coming to surprise me, because yeah, when I got my first years, most of them were like £4,000 for motor insurance, whereas BCD one with the underwriter 7 Rock was like £2,500. So yeah, it looks like I'll be paying for the renewal with BCD as things stand. Just want to, we're being so quiet, I think everything's quiet. I just want to quickly mention, don't know if anyone else has had one of these. Courier market. Just want to ask, has anyone else had one of these through the post? I had an email off them initially, God knows where they got my details from, and then I got actually one of these through the post. So I reckon they must have got the details off the courier exchange, to be honest. I did have a quick look online. Has anyone bothered signing up with them? Is there a cost and all that stuff? Because I think everywhere is going to be quiet at the moment. So I'm kind of interested in other places to source work as a subby. I mean, I'm not talking here about going out and knocking on doors and finding my own customers. As I mentioned in the comments to some guys recently, I'm not really looking for my own customers, because I don't really want people ringing me up at 24/7 saying we need a courier, can you arrange a courier, all that kind of stuff. I'd rather just be a subby for now, definitely, and just have the flexibility of log in and do work when I want, even if it means tramping to do decently out of it. Plus I plan to relocate hopefully back to Wales within the next 12 months, maybe 18 months. So it's pretty pointless going knocking on doors where I live. Yeah, so interested to know, this is obviously a new one, or newish. I did, when I started all this, so like 12 months ago, I signed up for another one called Courier Expert, but I soon realised you pay them like so much a month to have access to their jobs, but I soon realised they were just a shipper, and you were paying them so much to get access to their jobs, and it wasn't interactive or anything. It was just like the job was updated through the day, so you'd have to go and log into their website and check, and the rates they're paying wasn't great, and they're just paying loaded miles, so you couldn't really work out your own price too much and get one job with them. And I was getting like invoiced off them every week for this access, and it was like £2.50, and it was just like spam invoices. And when it came to doing my books, I got fed up of going through the process for them every week. So yeah, I knocked that on the head. So that was Courier Expert, only one everyone had tried. There was On Truck, is another one, which is mainly, as the name suggests, trucks. But if you look at their website, it does say they do vans, and Amazon Flex, but Amazon Relay, which is again geared more towards trucks, but that's like collecting from customers or collecting from sellers and feeding into their fulfillment centres, or moving stock between their big depots. And it says on there they do deal with 3.5 ton vans, but to sign up with both of them you need to have an operator's license, an O license, which if you just in vans you're not going to have. So yeah, interested to know below, or just below, any other ways of sourcing work as a subby, good ones that you know of. Yeah, thanks for watching. It's been a long one. First full proper week back on the run since Christmas. Pretty tough out there still, but I'm still optimistic for the future. I think in like 3 weeks it should really start to pick up and we'll start to come out of this lockdown, hopefully for good. That's it for now. Cheers for watching. Bye.